So for the last 5 years, I've been writing a novel that revolves heavily around the concept of mind control. I think this concept is fascinating, and by incorporating it into a story, it can add another layer of depth and make it more interesting. I don't want to give any spoilers for my novel, but I do want to share some things that I've learned about how to incorporate mind control into a story for the best results. So here are 3 tips about how to do that, and you can use these tips in conjunction with each other. In fact, I encourage it because it creates much more interesting and unique mind control system. But if you're new here and you love stories and storytelling tips, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll keep you updated with future videos. The first thing that I realized when writing about mind control was that it's really part of a magic system, and so it should have limitations just like any other aspect of a magic system. The main reason for giving magic limitations is that it increases the conflict. Imagine if you had an evil overlord who was completely all-powerful and had no weakness whatsoever, or imagine a villain who was so powerful that they could control the minds of anyone and everyone. If there was a villain like that, then there would be no conflict. The villain would win since they have no weaknesses. So as with all elements of a magic system, you need to build in weaknesses into the mind control. So the first tip is to give your mind control limitations so that it is neither too weak nor too powerful, but just right. The next few tips are about exactly how to do that. So the second tip, and the concept that I have used, is to make certain people more immune to the mind control than others. This is seen in The Dark Tower, not really in the books, but more in the film, where the man in black, who is the villain, seemingly can't affect the protagonist, and the man in black's powers can stop some people from breathing, and they don't work on Roland, the protagonist, because his mind is much stronger than others and he can resist the magic. A better example might be in Harry Potter, where certain people can resist the Imperious Charm, which is one of the unforgivable curses used to control people's minds. In the books, Harry demonstrates in class that he is particularly good at resisting the charm, whereas others are not so good at it. So this idea of basically being able to resist mind control sets some characters apart from others, and gives you the benefit of using mind control in your story while not letting it dominate your story. And it is like Brandon Sanderson said, the limitations of the magic are more interesting than the magic itself. And if mind control has limitations whereby you can train yourself to resist, then it will give the characters an eternal conflict to fight, which will only add to your story. And the third tip is to create even more factors that influence how powerful it is. The factors could include how powerful the mind control is, whereby you could explain to the reader how the mind control actually works and what makes some people better at it than others. Other factors might include how far away the victim is from the mind control, or how many people the mind controller is attempting to control. An exceptional example of all of these factors that I've mentioned so far combined into one story is in Mistborn. In this series, certain people are born with the power to influence other people's emotions, and these people are known as soothers. This isn't full-blown mind control, but I think it's even better because it's more subtle, and it relies on nudging people's emotions in the direction you want them to behave in. For example, if you want to intimidate someone so they don't fight with you, then you could increase their fear. But there are many factors, some of which I've mentioned, that are at play when this is happening. As I've discussed, these include the number of victims, the subtlety of the soother, and the ability of the victims to detect soothers. If the victim knows that their emotions are being influenced, then they will know not to trust them. So these are just some examples of limitations you could incorporate and weave into a complex tapestry of limitations that could make your mind control ideas fascinating. So here is just a quick bonus tip which is a bit different, and it is to include the power to influence other people's dreams. Because with dreams, there are literally unlimited possibilities. If some evil force was able to influence people's dreams and thus make them behave differently in real life, that could be a much more subtle way of incorporating mind control. I got this idea largely from Harry Potter, since Harry and Voldemort share a magical bond, and part of Voldemort lives in Harry as a Horcrux. So in the 5th book, Voldemort was able to influence Harry's dreams and make him believe a lie that caused him to unnecessarily go into the Ministry of Magic and put him in danger of almost certain death. And so this really is surprising how many different forms of mind control you can really implement that are much more complex than the kind of mind control the Riddler uses in Batman, for example. And I'm sure there are many more ideas that I haven't talked about, so I'd be interested to know your ideas. Comment below your thoughts on what you think make for more interesting mind control in a story, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.